Alright, it's time for us to start on our next example in our Kismet demonstration. Now this is really going to, in effect, be a practical joke on the player. There's going to be a red switch that they'll go over, and when they use it, a message will pop up on their screen asking them not to use this switch anymore, to please leave it alone. If they continue and keep using the switch, they'll get kind of like nastier and nastier messages until finally the system's going to get frustrated, it's going to lock the door behind them, it'll fire off an alarm, there'll be a 10-second countdown at the end of which the player will explode. So it's very funny, but what we're going to do is put this together one piece at a time. So some of these videos may seem a little bit on the short side as we get just one singular aspect installed. Now let's begin by creating a trigger, something that the player could walk over to our little mesh and use. Once again, if you didn't recognize our mesh, this is just the rocket pack static mesh for ammunition. I'm going to right-click, choose Add Actor, and add a trigger. Now that trigger is big, it's huge, and it's kind of in my way, so I'm going to take its draw scale down here at the bottom of the screen in the console bar, set the first field to 0.3, but then of course make sure you click on the trigger to see that change take place. And we'll slide this over so it's pretty much right in front of our little switch box. Now, with this trigger selected, I'm going to jump right into Kismet. Now, here's all of the Kismet sequences that I have right now. I'm just going to come out here to a blank space here in Kismet. We'll right-click and choose New Event using Trigger 2, and this will be a used event. Now, on your end, that might be Trigger 2, Trigger 3, Trigger anything. There could be several different triggers already in your view, especially if you've been creating and deleting, so don't get too caught up if your number's a little different than mine. Go ahead and switch to used. Now, what do we want to have happen? Well, first off, there's some things we need to set right here. I'm going to switch off aim to interact. It'll be enough that the player is just close enough to proximity. Let's also take max trigger count, and we'll set that to 0. All right, so that's all we're going to do there. Now we need to have something happen. Now, the first thing I want to have happen when the player walks up and uses this trigger is we're going to put a message on their screen, and I would like some sort of an audio cue to help them realize that some sort of message just fired up. It's like when you're using an instant messenger. You know, if somebody's talking to you and you don't have focus, they play a little noise to say, hey, you know, look at your instant messages real quick. We're going to do something fairly similar. So let's right-click, choose New Action, and I'm going to choose Voice Announcements and grab Play Announcement. Now, Play Announcement allows you to designate some text that will pop up on the player's screen, and it allows you to play a sound simultaneously. Let's jump into its properties, expand the announcement category. I'm going to take the announcement sound, and let's actually go dig up the sound we're going to use here. Just a note, though, this does not take a sound cue. This is actually looking for a sound wave data. So I need to close out Kismet for just a moment. Let's go into the content browser. Now I have a particular sound in mind, so make sure you click on All Assets, and in the search line, I'm going to type Scorpion Eject. And what we're looking for is a vehicle Scorpion eject ready beep. Now we want the sound, so notice just the blue sound icon and not the cyan sound cue icon. So make sure you have this guy selected. Close out the content browser, jump back into Kismet, click on your play announcement, expand its announcement category again, and then right here next to announcement sound, click the green arrow for use selected object in content browser, and there you go. Now it's going to play that sound. Now if you want to sample that sound, we'll jump back into the content browser real quick. I'll just double click it for you. You see it's just a kind of a nice beepy noise to let the player know that some electronic thing just happened. Alright, now back here in Kismet, which I had minimized in the lower corner of the screen, we also want some text. So let's start off by saying let's just keep it simple. This will not turn off the lights, or turn on the lights, excuse me. This could say anything you want. You can type anything you like in here. Now, all we're going to do is take our used output and plug that right into our play announcement. Let's close out Kismet and give this a try. So we'll click play from here, run upstairs and hit use. this will not turn on the lights, and we get a little beep. I mean, you could just leave it at that if you wanted to. That's, you know, a little annoying, but kind of funny in its own way. So that's going to be the first part of our network. Now, obviously, I need to rebuild my lighting, as we just saw the message there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and stop the video here, go ahead and save your level, and when we get back, I will have rebuilt lights, and we'll go on and take a look and see how we can make this switch say different things as the player continues to press the button.